Hey everybody, it's time now for Genesis 3. This is where it starts to get kinda interesting, story-wise. Okay, so here we go. Now the serpent was more crafty. Well, let me make sure that, New International. Good. Anyway, yes, now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals that the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Now here, it doesn't say that it was Satan in disguise. It just says it was the serpent. And it was very crafty, I guess. It also doesn't say snake. I don't know if a serpent is the same thing as a snake, but it says serpent here. Okay, the woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die." I don't recall him saying don't touch it. Let's go back here to Genesis 2 and see what it says. It says, you must not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die. No, it doesn't say that you must not touch it. They can touch it all they want, as long as they don't eat it. Or they'll die. Oh, but here we go. You will not certainly die, the serpent said to the woman, for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So, this means not only did Yahweh lie, or El lie, but good and evil already exist. They don't exist on earth yet, apparently, because everything that Yahweh created was good, but they exist among the gods, apparently, because that's the only other place there is. So, there we go. When the woman saw the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and who wasn't paying attention, I guess. And he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked, so they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Maybe this is a bit of a brag on the part of Adam. Oh, one fig leaf's not enough. I'd better sew a bunch of them together. No. She decided she wanted wisdom. She wanted to know the difference between good and evil, and Yahweh didn't want her to. So what does that mean? What could that mean? I mean, if I was evil, I wouldn't want other people knowing the difference between good and evil. Just saying. I mean, God proved himself to be a liar. So, I mean, it sounds like he's kind of evil. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" Because he didn't know. He couldn't find Adam because Adam was hiding. Not exactly all-knowing, was he, or all-powerful. And apparently, he walked. He was walking in the garden. He had a body. Okay. He answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." Even though, obviously, he's seen him naked, I don't know why he's worried. Just because the story says so. And he said, "Who told you that you were naked?" Well, he always knew he was naked, he just didn't care before. "Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" Haha, am I busted? Whoops, did you find out I lied to you? "Well, I'm not dead," the man said, "so, you got some splaining to do, Yahweh." No, that's not what it says. The man said, "The woman you put me here with, she gave me some fruit of the tree, and I ate it. It was her, punish her." Then the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" It's what Adam just said to you. The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Oh, look at the blame game here. Oh, the woman you put me here made me eat it. No, the serpent deceived me. So the Lord God said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly, and you will eat dust all the days of your life. What does that mean? You will eat dust. I don't know of any animals that eat dust. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring, the annotation, what does that say? Or seed, back up here, and hers. He will crush, annotation, or strike your head, and you will strike at his heel. I don't know what that part means. Does that mean we're supposed to hate snakes? I don't know. I don't really feel that strongly about them. To the woman, he said, I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. Because that's a merciful thing to do. With painful labor you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Oh no, she was cursed with desire for her husband. Okay, that's a bad thing, I guess. To Adam he said, because you listened to your wife, and ate fruit from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil you will eat food from it all the days of your life. Now, I never toil, ever, really, at all. So I guess I'm kind of going against this thing. So take that, L. It will produce thorns and thistles for you. For you. Just for you. And you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return. Now, oh yeah, never mind, we're not there yet. Adam named his wife Eve. Here's where, let's see, Eve probably means living, it says in the annotation. Now here's the first time she's ever named Eve. Before this, her name is the woman, or she just doesn't have a name, because she would become the mother of all the living. Now, when he was punishing Eve, he said, I'll make your pains in childbearing very severe, which means she was going to bear children anyway, but now it's going to be painful. I guess she hadn't yet, but it was possible. It was on the cards. Let's see. The Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife and clothed them. Now what kind of skin did he use? I guess some kind of animal skin, but it doesn't say what kind. It could mean human skin. Who knows? That would be weird. That would be kind of pointless. And the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed... Oh yeah, he's talking to the other gods here, apparently. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. Okay, so this tells us that Adam and Eve were not going to live forever unless they ate from the tree of life, and they were allowed to eat from the tree of life. But they didn't. They just happened to come across the tree of good and evil first. So that is very interesting. So the Lord God banished him from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken. Now, there were still fruit trees in the world. Oh well. So the Lord God banished him from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken. Oh yeah, I just read that. After he drove the man out, he placed on the east side, annotation says, or placed in front of the Garden of Eden, cherubim, which is a kind of angel, and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. I think in a previous video I said something about there not being any angels in the Old Testament. Someone definitely pwned me on that one and showed me a whole bunch of passages where it talks about angels. And right here in Genesis 3:24 it talks about an angel. So there we go. Okay, there were angels in the Old Testament. Yeah. So there we go. That is the end of Genesis 3. It's got 24 verses. I will see you next time when I do Genesis 4. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention about Genesis 3. I don't feel like setting up the camera, so I'm just going to do this in a voice recording. Eve, or woman, after she ate the apple and had her eyes opened, she decided, when she knew the difference between good and evil, that it was good to give some of the fruit to Adam. She knew at that point that Yahweh didn't want her to, but she decided to do it because apparently she thought it was good. Or because she liked evil, but I don't think that's the case. It doesn't say either way, but I think that before she knew the difference between good and evil, she ate the apple, or took a bite from the apple, and after, she decided that Adam should do the same thing. So they disobeyed Yahweh, but did they do anything that was bad? Not necessarily. Oh, one more thing I noticed. When Adam hides from Yahweh, it's in the cool of the day. They made clothes for themselves, it seems, because it was cool outside. Like they didn't realize they were naked and they were ashamed. It doesn't say that. It just says they realized they were naked and maybe they were cold.